Good morning and welcome to a special IGA meeting. We just have a few things on the schedule this morning and we have Director of Planning, Harris. Good morning, everyone. We are here for two requests. The first is a late resolution to purchase two Gillett buses, piggybacking off of a contract with the state of Washington. Reason why we're here today asking for that is since we received our grant contract at the end of last year, the price has increased on those. We have been able to secure the funding to cover those. So we still have the 80% federal, 20% state covered, no local dollars for it. Nicole worked very hard with the vendor on the state of Washington contract to get them to honor the price beyond the expiration date, which was at the end of February. So they said if we could get that approval to them today, they'll honor that old pricing before the price goes up yet again. So we are here to request the two 35-foot diesel low floor buses from Gillig at a price, total cost not to exceed $1 million. Hold on, let me get the whole amount. I want to get it correct. $1,299,204. That's total. Do I have a motion? Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot I was thinking Yes, I was thinking about admin. I'm like, what? Yes, I move approval of that contract.
Discussion?
Oh, Jennifer, I think that is a very admirable thing that Tammy has brought for us today. I think we'll be voting yes on it. Great, in about 1 minute.
Roll call vote.
Marietta absent, Mickle.
Aye.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Mendez absent, Clapperton.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you. The next is a budget modification to go along with that. So, to reflect the additional expense as well as the additional state and federal funds we will be applying to that expenditure. We need to increase our federal capital revenue line by $79,363.20. Our state capital revenue line by $19,840.80, and then our capital equipment expenditure line by $99,204. Do I have a motion?
I move approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
Gonna do it.
All right. Roll call vote.
Marietta absent, Mickle.
Aye.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Mendez absent, Clapperton.
Motion carries. Okay, thank you so much. That is everything on our idea agenda, and then we'll be back up for admin. Thank you, Tammy.
And when do we need to move because the HFC, I don't think has been.
Okay. Okay, all right. We're gonna have a motion to remove the beginning. Okay, we're adjourned.
Sorry, I totally drew a bunny. I don't know.
We only have 14 agencies at grappling opportunity unions.
So I think that we're making arrangements to bring those from the floor during the meeting. So the business will still be transacted, but just not through the committee. For HLC.
Yeah.
So we'll still be able to get done what you need to have done, but
Yeah.
be able to have the meeting.
I'm not sure what we're gonna have to get done.
So for when you do your report,
Yes. Yes.
the meetings, the minutes are already.
Isaiah, can you put us on, please?
This is the next.
Thank you. No, you're Tammy and Heidi, we do not have a forum for HSC this morning, so we are not going to be able to act on some of these, but we will bring them up and the committee, what's that?
She can just present them to.
And present them, and then they'll have to be voted on at a later time.
From the floor.
From the floor today? Okay. You know, excuse me, folks, I just got all this stuff this morning.
So Cheryl. Come on. Yeah.
Hi, it's Heidi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to get my video on here. Okay. Thank you. Thanks. So I'll present this and then it'll come up from the floor for a vote.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So we currently have 2 psychologists on contract for our preschool program. They provide the evaluation services for the preschool program. And the state ed has said that we can no longer have them on contract. They have to be employees of the county. So this is a request to create, fund and fill, which they're already funded. We will just have to move the money from contract line to our personal service line. So create and fill 2 part-time psychologist positions, one at a step 6 and one at a step 5.
Okay.
So if there's any questions but I think Alan has the paperwork and should be all set, so.
Yes, I do.
So
Okay.
we'll take again during our meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
No, it's not. Even I just.
Okay.
Oh, Tammy Reed. OFA.
Okay.
She's just gonna have to take us through the amendment.
Tammy,
Good morning.
I'm sorry.
Yes, we already have a resolution to contract with Trinity Services for our senior meals program. Essentially, this is just to adapt, make an amendment to that existing resolution to increase the meal rate from $10.98 to $11.13 for 2026. And that would go back to January 1st.
Okay, since we don't have a quorum, that will take up in the regular meeting.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going.
We don't have, all
We're
this
done.
during the meetings, we don't have enough for a vote.
Okay, so is it 9:50? Time for admin? Yes. Isaiah, can we just move right into the admin? We don't have to turn off. We can just stay recording. Okay, all right, so we're gonna go ahead with Alan Bard. You're gonna present the 911 transfer for us?
Yep, we have two items. They were both approved at PSLA already. First one is amend resolution 87-2026-0204 to include November, December 2025. This is the contract with QuickMed for billing.
So moved. Second.
Any questions or discussion on that?
Is there a
Hearing,
dollar amount of that?
It is, yeah, it's a continuation and we pay them a percentage based on the number of claims.
okay. So we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini absent, Marietta absent, Powers.
Okay, so that motion passes.
Okay, and the last one is the budget transfer of $28,732 from A 4540-549000 to A 4010-549000. This is E911's portion of the Bonadio contract.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion on that? Okay, hearing none, we will go to a vote. Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini absent, Marietta absent, Powers.
Aye.
Okay, so that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Alan. We will go to planning. Tammy Nicole.
Good morning. We are here with the same requests from IGA. So the first is a late resolution to purchase two 35-foot low floor diesel buses from Gillig off the state of Washington contract for that total of $1,299,204.
So moved.
Thank you. Questions or discussion on the bus purchase? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini absent, Marietta absent, Powers.
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes. And the next,
Thank you. And then the next one is an associated budget modification to increase our federal capital revenue by 79,363.20, our state capital revenue by 19,840.80, and our equipment expenditure line by 99,204 to account for the difference in expenditure and revenue for that purchase.
So moved.
second. You're good on second then? Okay. Questions or discussion regards to the budget mod? Hearing none, we will go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini absent, Marietta absent, Powers.
Okay, that motion carries as well. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Nicole. We have any other? So we have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Adjourned. Thank you.
Good morning. I'd like to call our Otsego County Board of Representatives, March 4th, 2026 meeting to order. Roll call members, please.
Frazier,
Here.
Powers,
Here.
Brockway,
Here.
Hinchey,
Here.
Kennedy,
Here,
Mickle, here, Furleyant, here, Marietta. Absent, McCarty,
There.
Wilbur,
Here.
Mendez. Absent, Martini. Absent, Clapperton. Here. Castillo. Absent.
If you're able, I encourage you to stand while we do our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Representative Wilbur.
Mr. Chair, with approval of the chair, I would like to bring a resolution from the floor in appreciation of Brian Corney, former employee.
Absolutely. I'd like to invite Representative Mickle up too, please.
Yes.
There, would you like to join?
Where's Mr. Director Picorni? We're gonna need him.
There's.
Morning. Come on up, please.
Resolution of appreciation for Brian S. Picorni. Whereas Brian S. Picorni has worked for the County of Otsego for more than 30 years in the area of information technologies. And whereas Brian S. Picorni has served Otsego County as the Director of Information Technology since January of 2000. And whereas Brian S. Picorni has, with diligence and skill, created the technological infrastructure which has supported the functions of the County of Otsego, enabled the county to fulfill its mission to the residents of this county. And whereas Brian S. Picorni has been unfaltering in his support of emergency services and public safety in both anticipated and unanticipated incidents in his role as Director of Information Technologies over the years. And whereas the Otsego County Board of Representatives and other county employees will remember Brian S. Picorni for his devoted service to emergency services and public safety and Otsego County as a whole. Now therefore it be resolved that the Otsego County Board of Representatives does hereby commend Brian S. Picorni for his dedication in serving Otsego County and its residents and wishes him well in retirement.
Present point for you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you very much. Brian's one of the first county employees I met when I first came on board several years ago. And what that resolution states about anticipated, unanticipated. IT touches every department in the county. There's no other department, I think, that touches it. He has been ahead of the curve constantly. The only time I didn't appreciate you was at 2 o'clock in the morning with that cyber attack. That phone call I didn't really appreciate. But even after that, he said, well, he learned things from that to help prevent us from being attacked again in the future. So we are gonna miss Mr. Picorni immensely, but he deserves his retirement. Would you like to say anything?
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you for sponsoring this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Bunch.
It'll be with us.
That's right.
Okay, we're entering the part of our meetings called privilege of the floor. I would like to remind everyone that we make it a 3-minute limit, please. Please respect our rules and stick to the 3-minute timeline. Come to the podium, state your name and address, and address the board. Anyone interested today? Man, right there, you were the first hand I saw.
Okay, I'm Virginia Kennedy, 169 Sequelsey Road, Cooperstown, New York. So I just want to read a context here. Patrick Slitz, Minnesota's chief judge, clerked for Scalia, Judge Scalia, and he was appointed by Bush. He dropped a number the other day, 100 cases in which ICE has ignored judicial orders. He wrote that, quote, the pattern would give pause to anyone who cares about the rule of law, and observed that ICE had likely violated more orders in a single month than some agencies have in their entire existence. He wrote that he was unaware of another moment, quote, in the history of the United States, unquote, in which a federal court had to threaten contempt again and again to force the United States government to comply with court orders. He warned that civil contempt had proven insufficient and that criminal contempt remained available. And he closed with a firm resolve. One way or another, ICE will comply. Judge Gary Brown, a Trump-appointed judge who blasted the Department of Homeland Security for, quote, unimaginable cruelty regarding the treatment of an immigrant who came to the U.S. as a child, had no criminal record, was a college graduate. Brown stated, quote, the laws of human decency condemn such villainy, unquote, and found the agency in violation of constitutional and statutory protections. Judge Kia Riggs, Arizona, a Trump-appointed judge who ordered Customs and Immigration Enforcement to provide a bond hearing for a man who had been in the U.S. for 25 years with no criminal record and had a child in need of a heart transplant. Another Trump appointee, Judge Pulliam, reportedly criticized ICE for violating the constitutional rights of detainees over and over again. These rulings highlighted concerns over the treatment of immigrants, including detention of individuals with legal status, American citizenship, or no criminal records. Judges described this as, quote, chillingly brutal. So my question is, why does Otsego County continue to be partnered with this organization? These are Trump judges. These are not liberal judges. My second question is, I submitted a FOIL request. It was denied at first because of privacy of intra and agency communications. I appealed it and I received the agreement, which I already had because it's online. And I'm interested in what were the inter and intra communications involved in the signing of this agreement. I understood that he did this unilaterally. So I'd like to know, I think the public has a right to know, and I'd like to know why that FOIL request was rejected. So if I could get some information on that soon, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir.
Bill Hayes, Town of Hartwick. I spoke here on December 3rd. There's been 3 months have gone by when I raised similar issues, not particularly commenting about ICE, though these are certainly pertinent pieces of information. But it's a matter of how is it that the county allows itself to be exposed to risk of various sorts, despite the guidance of the Attorney General of New York State advising all municipalities and law enforcement agencies not to enter into agreements with ICE because of inherent risks to county personnel as well as the public. 3 months have gone by. Many people have had things to say about this, and I am curious to know how it is that county employees, namely the supervisors in the corrections facility, are still agents of ICE.
Thank you. Anyone else today?
Folks, don't be shy. I'm Russell Aarons. I've probably spoke more times here than anybody. My major thing has been Russell Aarons, 180 County Highway 26, Cooperstown. I'm only living there because the county took my partner's home 10 years ago and sold it at a tax sale to another county employee. You're talking insider trading. And you mentioned you foiled something. We asked for an ethics review. None. Nothing. It was like we didn't even exist. Shame on you. And I'm going to tell you something about ICE. First of all, thank you, Mr. Powers, for saying something about it, because I've worked with immigrants alongside of them. This morning I had blood taken at Bassett, and it would have been identified as somebody not from here. And the color of her skin, etc. If I was a nice guy, I could have bouldered down like nothing. A poor soul. Most gentle person I think I've ever had take blood. And yeah, I am upset. I'm upset with everything that I see going on. But the big thing is the other one, safety. Let's go to safety. Recently, I'm down at the bottom of Grasslands, turning left towards Cooperstown. It's a foggy morning and icy. And the next thing I know, there's a sheriff car coming down with no headlights on. And it's still half dark. What is it with law enforcement now that they're riding around with their headlights out? They were the first ones that had them on, and it's a major safety thing to keep your headlights on. But this ICE business is disgusting. I can't believe that we're living in a country where we are right now. Just backtrack for a second, though. Two things I wanted to remember was Representative Powers and Big Ed, who stood at this platform talking many times about electricity. I really liked Ed, and I always respected him as like the icebreaker for this, to be talking. Ed would come up and he talks, logically about things that were real. And this electric thing is getting real now. If we're against renewables, be patient. I think that they're coming. Of course, water power is tremendous, and we don't even touch it in this state, what it should be. We have big problems with Canada, and it's a shame that we have isolated ourselves from our allies. And I'll tell you, we are not immune to what can happen to us. I thank you today for your time, and I don't mean to be yelling at you, but when we had corruption in that treasury for 25,000 embezzled at the same time, and the next year that her place was taken, and you would not take her money. I begged. We begged. You thought I was some kind of terrorist. I'm going to do something to you. You're hearing it right now. My mouth is like the president's spokesperson. I'm a machine gun when it comes to this. You get me riled up and you're going to hear Russellmania. Good day to you all.
Thanks, Russ.
My name is Karen Migan. I'm 344 Ottaway Road, Cooperstown, which is actually in the town of Middlefield. Since Virginia has said a lot of what I was going to say, I'm just going to make a very brief statement. It is my understanding that being here undocumented is a civil rather than a criminal offense. They have the right to due process. Sweeping up large segments of the population because of their appearance is not just. Holding them in private detention centers for a month without access to family members or attorneys is not just. A judge just ruled that ICE has been stealing items from them, phones, money, jewelry, and passports, and that it must be returned to them. I think that decision came out yesterday. This is criminal and against the law. We should not be supporting ICE efforts. Please allow them to have their day in court here. And I have a question, which I know you're not supposed to have to answer, but my representative said she would. I am wondering if the board has been in conversation as to whether you would support locating an ICE detention center in our county should DHS decide to buy land or a warehouse here. Deciding that now and being proactive, as my hometown in Middlefield did when the fracking issue was before them, is the way to go. I hope that you would entertain having times across the county where people could come in and give you their input on this issue and then make a decision. And I would hope the decision is no.
Deborah Mack, 544 Angel Hill Road, Burlington Flats. I wrote this as a letter and I'll just read it. I'm writing to address the concerns of Otsego County residents with Sheriff Devlin's acceptance of the 287G agreement with ICE. We did not vote to spend Otsego County's tax dollars on a federal agency. We have seen what happens when ICE becomes involved with local law enforcement and feel this agreement will diminish community safety, constitutional integrity, and public trust. It can lead to unforeseen expenses to implement the program, as well as possible lawsuits. As an Otsego County resident for over 40 years, I feel this issue has brought shame on our county and our representatives as well. It could very well affect the tourism that our county relies on every year. I respectfully urge you to demand Sheriff Devlin cancel the 287G agreement with ICE immediately. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Betsy Holland. I live in Oneonta, New York. When heavily armed, masked, unidentified bounty hunters enter our communities, our homes, our schools, our churches without judicial warrants, shackled, zip tied, bear spray, tear gas, point guns, shoot our neighbors, send them to concentration camps, holding these men, women, and children without due process based on racial and ethnic profiling. I hope that our sheriff's officers who are not masked and are our neighbors will be there to protect us from this invasion. Sheriff Devlin signed the 287G task force model contract with ICE, and that allows law enforcement to make immigration arrests during routine police enforcement. This is the deepest form of collusion with ICE. We want the Sheriff's Department to protect our constitutional rights and our civil and human rights. We want the department to stand with us, not against us. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I have some good news to share.
Stacy, we need your name and.
Stacy Haynes. I live in Cooperstown, New York. I'm here representing the Susquehanna SPCA. And I'm here to share that we recently acquired a new custom-built cargo van that will allow us to take services into neighborhoods. So the services that we can offer in our new van are vaccine clinics, wellness clinics, so rabies, we can do blood tests, deworming, things like that. The idea is that we reach people who can't otherwise get to a vet. So they don't have transportation, maybe they don't have the funds to get to a vet. So folks will be asked to income qualify for this program. And so why I'm here today to share that with you is that I'm asking if you have neighborhoods in your district that you think might benefit from our van and the services, please reach out and we can discuss and potentially make arrangements to go in that neighborhood with the van and provide these services. Our goal is to provide them for free, but if we're unable to get a sponsor to help offset the cost of our services, then it will be low cost. So it will be at our cost as close as we can get it. So I have just a little information sheet here that kind of explains that in more detail. And if you want to reach out, we'd be most grateful. Thanks, Dan. Thanks.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yep. I just want to introduce my vet real quick since you're getting those out. This is Dr. Lukowski. She's our full-time vet and she's the person who would be going into the neighborhoods doing the great work.
My name is Ruthie Winchester. I live at 465 Chicken Farm Road in the town of Butternuts. First of all, I would like to thank the board for continuing to recognize our First Amendment right to speak freely. I feel like all of our rights are in danger now, so I would like to be for still recognizing their rights. The fabric of our society and our nation has rapidly become unraveled by a demented tyrant. Everybody in this room knows this, whether they admit it publicly or not. It's incumbent upon people of conscience to, at every opportunity, signal to the current chaotic and cruel administration that we will not support its agenda. This board has an opportunity to send this message by demanding that Sheriff Devlin cancel the 287G contract he signed with ICE, a brutal road police force, and to do this immediately. If Sheriff Devlin refuses to do this, I urge you to use whatever budgetary powers you may have over his department as leverage for cancellation. Now, I understand from my county rep, James Powers, and for once we're on the same page about something, that you can't do anything. You can't write a letter to the sheriff until the Public Safety Committee meets on March 12th. And I respect what Jamie said, but also we've had people here for 2 months prior saying the same thing over and over again, asking you to do this. I don't understand why the board cannot, at this meeting, draft a letter or demand the drafting of a letter to the sheriff demanding that he cancel the 287G contract with ICE. So otherwise, we'll see you on March 12th at the Public Safety Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else this morning?
Good morning. Thank you for letting us speak. My name is Marielle Ainsworth. I live in Cooperstown, New York, and I just wanted to bring the ICE discussion back a little bit more personally. I have an Asian daughter. She's adopted from China. She's a US citizen. I'm sorry, I'm going to get emotional. She's afraid. She's afraid that she's going to be snatched off the streets. Not because she's done anything wrong. She's a child, but because she's Chinese. And I have had to show her her immigration records and her certificate of naturalization. And she said, yeah, but it doesn't matter. So when we have a sheriff that has signed an agreement with a force that makes the children in our community afraid, that's not okay.
Yes.
That's what we're supposed to be here to support and protect our kids. I would further add, we have in our community in Cooperstown as well, a family whose father was arrested about a month ago for a terrible crime. I don't know if he did it or not. He was never brought to trial. He was Asian. When the Otsego County Sheriff posted his picture and his crime on their Facebook page, the slew of hate and ICE references and ICE go get him and rice and bananas that was posted was horrific. And his kids shouldn't have had to read that. I called the sheriff and asked them to please take that down in respect for his family. They did. And I give them credit for that after he killed himself. Okay. This is what ICE does in our community. Okay. This isn't about this is what's happening in our country, but it's also about what is affecting the people and the children in our community. So I would urge you to please pass an amendment to make our kids feel safe. Thank you.
Anyone else this morning?
Good morning. Paul Mendelson, 238 Mill Road, Cherry Valley. 2 years ago, Americans decided an election in part on deporting on the worst of the worst violent criminals. Perhaps that was what the sheriff was thinking last summer when he signed the agreement. Arresting the violent criminals has the support of everyone in this room, I'm willing to bet. The deportation of 3 million aliens under the Obama administration, due process ruled the day. People will return to their country of origin. Not everyone was happy, but we moved on. Today, ICE agents are not deporting violent criminals who've been eating our cats and dogs. They're more frequently arresting gardeners, dishwashers, and our neighbors, holding them in for-profit prisons in brutal conditions, which would never be allowed in any New York State prison, before deporting them to some random country. People who are here legally with asylum or work agreements are rounded up, cut off from communication with their families, and simply disappear. We have a masked militia of civilian clothes who have been quick to resort to violence, perhaps due to lack of training. Unlike our own law enforcement, they are accountable to no one. We've seen them choose a community where they outnumber police, terrorize local residents, businesses remain closed, potential visitors from the community stay away, the economy suffers, the public trust in law enforcement declines. Will Otsego residents be safer when one morning we awake and find ICE agents roaming our streets? When the Constitution is once again the law of the land, will this community be proud of having been in the small minority of New York counties that has given in and tied its wagon to this engine of intolerance and dictatorship? We are better than this. Let us not give in. Let us not give comfort to the people who would visit this plague upon us. We cannot necessarily prevent this from happening, but we do not need to support it. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak to the board this morning? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Andrea Hall. I live in Morris. First time I came to one of these meetings was the morning that 3 or 4 of our residents gave really excellent reasons why ICE should not be invited into Otsego County. They had to deal with logistics, with moral and ethical issues, and with financial issues, with responsibilities that we financially as we can only imagine at this point. Then a couple of weeks later, Teresa Winchester brought in a petition for the sheriff to stop the agreement that he has. We got over 400 signatures in less than an hour, asking the sheriff to revoke that invitation to ICE. Got to say, the morning that I first came here, and people were speaking about the violence that ICE inflicts on communities. That was the morning, and probably right around the same time that Renee Stout was murdered in front of the world. And 10 days later, ICE murdered Alex Freddie in ICU hospital. Again, in front of the world. So, I'm here today to ask, what are you doing about this? About the petitions, about the reasons that people are presenting? Why we don't want to cooperate with ICE. Today we're in the 5th day of an undeclared unconstitutional war that this lawless administration is wandering us into. This is all part of a world view.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak this morning? Anyone
else like to speak?
need a motion to approve the minutes of February 4th, 2026?
Approval of the minutes.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Presentation of petitions, communications, and notices. We have none. No special presentations this morning. We will move on to reports of standing committees. Public Works, Representative McCarty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met on February 12th at 9 o'clock. Today you'll see 3 resolutions in your packet, 2 for highway and 1 for building service. Highway Superintendent Rich Bremer was in, requested approval to amend the resolution 25720250702 for the County Route 59 bridge to amend it to not exceed $1,600,000 for that project. Rich also requested approval to award a bid for aggregate material to a whole bunch of companies. I'm not gonna name them all, but he did approve that. Rich gave a brief discussion about the county attorney, and they met with the county attorney's office on agreement for outside entities to use in our fuel depot. At this point, we charge 10 cents a gallon over the cost. But what we're finding out is that costs more for repairs and testing, around $7,000. So we're looking into raising that up to possibly 25 cents a gallon. That's still in discussion. Rich gave an update on the County Route 20 bridge, New York property, not noting that the county attorney's office has contracted their attorney multiple times and no response on some land over there to fix that bridge, I guess. Rich also gave a brief discussion about the RWDSAP grant for the County Route 11, noting that the local share would be $40,000, and that is in the budget, and so we're gonna have to work on trying to find some money for that. That ended Rich's report. I did ask him to stay and talk about the Civil War monument with Mr. Donahue. Rich has agreed to look at taking down a couple of pine trees over by the monument. Explore grants and other funding opportunities, suggested that maybe some of the work to be repairs done by the building services. Since that meeting, I had a phone call from a local historian over in Fly Creek. She has offered to write some grants, and she's done this before, and she has notes and contact people that she could get a hold of for the cleaning and some repairs. She did ask that she would like the full support of this board before she went ahead with that. So I guess I would like it in the minutes, hand raising to see if this board does support her going ahead with that grants.
All those in favor, raise your hand.
Very good.
Chair approves.
And I will call her and let her know about that. Apparently she's done this before for some cemeteries, and she's also going to look into the history of the monument to see who actually is responsible for it. Building services came in, Tim Donahue, he only had one request. He, requested approval to accept the bid on ONGOV -001140 for Craft Powers to, for a maintenance contract on all our generators, and we did approve that. And, our next meeting date, he also gave a report on all the work that they've been doing at the public safety building, and also that, air handlers are up and running. So that's good. And we meet again on, March 12th at 9 AM. Thank you all.
Any questions for the chair? I was also down in Meadows yesterday, and they're doing some of the replacement windows. It's still in process of replacing the windows. So that's good. Intergovernmental Affairs, Representative Mickle.
Thank you, Chair. We had a very short meeting. First on the agenda was Director of Veteran Services, Bill Kaus. He requested that we, for a transfer for the Dwyer grant to be put into his budget lines. That was approved. Second was, Director of Planning, Tammy Harris. She requested approval to pay some dues for MVAD in the amount of $6,750 and also for the Southern Tier dues at a cost of $8,242. We then had a brief discussion regarding the county infrastructure grant application, and she was asking for support to apply for some funding up to $500,000. We obviously approved that. And then she gave a great presentation and update on all the accomplishments they have done in the fourth quarter of 2025. And then after that, she requested a executive session, and we adjourned from that meeting.
Thank you. Any questions for the chair today?
Our next meeting, I believe, is on March 10th at 1 p.m.
Thank you. Human Services, Representative Barkley.
Well, I'm third on the list here, but I'm gonna stumble through
You're top of the list today.
a bunch of this. And all the minutes are online also, if you want to look at them, but a few of the highlights from Department of Social Services, they've got a contract with Otsego, opportunities for Otsego for their residential domestic violence program. And as far as going on down the things that are happening, we've always touched on the number of people in the housing that the ESS has available. At Motel 6, they had 6 families. Motel 8, 5 rooms were taken. Crossroads down on Route 7 is 22 individuals. Jenny's Dream Motel, which is, I think, is the one up across the border now in Herkimer County, they're using 6 individuals there. Agency Housing, 10 homes, and the Super 8 in Oneonta has 2 individuals. There were 19 emergency calls to Motel 88 to the police. 11 of them were involved with DSS, both Blue Housing individuals. Blue is up. COVID is up a little bit. And so Heidi Bond, our director of Board of Health, Department of Health rather, has suggested that we should be up to date on our flu shots. And Office of the Aging, we approved a contract with that Post Health Refrigeration, replace the condenser evaporator in the central kitchen at about $16,000. And she requested some budget transfers, which we did. And we ended the meeting with executive session, and that's about what happened on there. Human Services Committee. Sorry, I just got this morning, so I'm not up to date on it at the moment.
And your next meeting is?
Oh.
12th?
10th.
10th.
10th. Yes.
At 9 AM?
March 10th, 9 AM, yes.
Thank you, sir. Any
Sorry about
question
that.
for Representative Brackway? Hearing none. Public Safety and Legal Affairs, Representative Wilbur.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had our meeting on February 12th at 1 PM. And we are having our next meeting on March 12th, this room at 1 o'clock. We had a full, oh no, I'm sorry, we didn't have a full quorum, but we had close. Emergency Services, Mr. Jones was the first up on the agenda. Request to purchase some equipment. We approved that. You requested for the approval to transfer the annual EMS course reimbursement funds into the restricted account, which we approved, and that was done. You requested approval of the annual EMS advisory council appointments. We approved that. He requested approval to apply for the 2026 AARP Community Challenge grant towards enhancement of training and equipment. And he did ask for an approval to increase the annual stipend for the fire coordinator positions from $1,691 annually to $5,000 annually. We've put that on hold because it's not in the budget, but it is under discussion. The amount of work and time these individuals contribute to the emergency services program is quite extensive, and I think there's support there, but we need to make sure there's money as well. You also informed the committee that the after action report from January was sent and asked if anyone had any questions or feedback. We accept that after action report. Next on the list was Jennifer Seal, County Clerk. Requested approval to attend training in May. That was approved. Next up on the agenda was the assistant to the county administrator, Alan Barnes, who requested approval to amend the resolution contracting with QuickMed. And we discussed that today in administration. That was approved. Our public defender, Attorney Lettuce, was next. Requested approval to buy office equipment. That was also a security upgrade for her office. That's ongoing and was approved. And she let us know about a new grant that's becoming available. She also requested approval to unfund the secretary position. That was approved. Moved on to request the approval to create, fund, and fill a new position, a special assistant to the public defender, which will cover more duties than the secretary did. That was approved. You'll be voting on that today. And then next up, we had the code office, who basically just gave us information on the credit card receipts for fuel. Representative Powers asked about a certificate of occupancy in his district. Moved on to Dan Naughton, Director of Probation, and requested approval to extend the S&T security contract for another month. While we're working with, I believe, an RFP to get that out, and we approved that. No further business, and we
Thank you. Any questions for the chair this morning? Any for quiet. Solid waste environmental concern, Representative Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met on February 12th at 11 AM, and we'll meet again on March 12th at 11 AM. We had Tammy Harris, Kyle King, and Kevin Musser come before us. They gave us a presentation, an update on the strategic plan for report. And they did have one correction for the solid waste user fee, $40, which I thought was pretty good for the year. And Kyle gave his municipal solid waste and C&D report for the month of January. The numbers are there. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to try and answer them. The soil and water report from Representative Kennedy. They've successfully submitted a grant for the town of Springfield salt shed to the tune of $575,000. And we're also awarded $1 million to do, and it says to do work on the outdated Mars Dam outside of Morris, but what it means is to take it down, right? We're not doing work on it.
Correct.
Yeah, they're gonna take that down. And our district is up to date on the report stall. Then we had a discussion from Kevin Musser about the agricultural 8-year review and open enrollment updates. And we talked about the progress on the southern transfer station. We decided at some point in time, when the weather's a little better, we're gonna have a meeting down there, so we can all see exactly what's being talked about. Then we also talked about the snowmobile. New York State has snowmobile riding rules on their trails and such, and they intersect with the hunting. They don't want you out there hunting deer on snowmobiles, I guess, so they've made it difficult. And so we're gonna write a letter to them. I'm not sure what that letter's gonna say. We're gonna be interested to see what Mr. Musser comes up with, but it's something of concern for the hunters / snowmobilers around here. Then we had a brief discussion about the land bank user fees. And then we adjourned. If there's any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Wait, do people want to be able to hunt deer on?
Here we are. No. They don't want
The timing, right?
Yeah, they have this after this late season now. I'm not sure.
They keep extending the hunting season,
Right.
which minimizes the snowmobile season.
That is correct.
I think that's the issue.
I don't think there's my opinion, there's no reason for that late season. If you haven't got a deer in the first 3 days, you might as well.
It's called a holiday hunt. Well, what it's doing is impacting the people that want to ride snowmobile during the holidays.
Gotcha.
You know, and you can't do both. You can do it, but if you get a landowner that doesn't want it, you can't let them on. So that kind of interrupts the trail, so they can't go in. Well, the complaints I've had, it's a big economic impact for restaurants, gas stations, and everything else. So. And the suggestion was, if you're gonna do that, have the hunting season start 2 weeks earlier. I mean, they hunt for 2.5 months, they ought to have a deer by then, but so the letter may do something, I mean.
Thank you.
And by that time, the amount of hunters in the woods, I don't think is very high. And isn't it bow and
Muzzle loader.
Late muzzle loader.
The holiday
and
season.
muzzle loader? It's already illegal to hunt with a vehicle, so.
Dan, you had your,
No, that was it.
okay.
Just kind of-
Any further questions for the chair today? Thank you. Administration, Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Chair Frazier. The administration committee met on the 19th at 9 a.m. We will meet again on the 19th of March at 9 a.m. We did have our, many of the department heads come in and make requests. We had the Department of Social Services, Veterans, where we moved the Dwyer grant into we made the budget modification to move that Dwyer grant for veterans, like quality of life funds into the Veterans Office. So they will be overseeing that grant in their office. Highway, we heard about during the Public Works report. The Department of Health, we also approved for the beginnings of the process to move the coroners into the Department of Health as their committee or their department for oversight rather than the clerk of the board. We also approved the positions that Heidi talked about on her brief appearance this morning for the HSC meeting that didn't have a quorum, but we heard about what was going to be coming up as a late resolution. So those positions, we also approved them at administration at the step 6 and step 5. The county administrator reports to the administration committee, so he gave us an update intermittently during the times when we were actually ahead of schedule during that meeting. So he updated us on how they're working on the strategic plan and the priority outcomes. Heard a little bit about today. And the next step of that is to assign amounts for achieving priority outcomes so that ultimately when we go to budget time, we'll be able to look at the strategic plan and the priority outcomes and kind of have some built-in numbers that we know this is where it might be if we want to go ahead with that project. And this is also coming in, Stephen, I know I'm getting this right so far, but the 5-year plan that is coming in that will help to be a bigger overarching guide for this budgeting and priority outcome and coming together to help us make decisions as a board as we face these future projects and needs that our county does have. Office for the Aging, we approved contracts and personnel decisions. For EMS, we approved the budget transfers and also approved that EMS Advisory Council members that are in the packet. Building Services, we approved the contract for generator maintenance. And then the treasurer gave a report. He does also report to the administration committee. We still have some unsold properties from the first auction, so now they're going to go into the second auction. We are still working on we aren't, but the court system is still working on how to distribute out the surplus dollars from that law that does not allow for counties to keep all of the surplus value of a property, minusing out, of course, everything that's due to the county. We do get to keep that. He gave us a cash spend update and a sales tax update for 2025. We did end up ahead of where we budgeted for sales tax, and the ending up number was 53 million. So this is obviously it's a big piece of our budget. We do like to keep up to date on that and always hope that we are ending up ahead of where we budgeted. The county's deferred compensation is now going to be moved into the New York State Deferred Compensation Plan, and he updated us on that timeline. As part-time director of real property, we heard that there will be an assessors meeting for assessors that the department will be sponsoring. And also tomorrow at 10 a.m., there's a meeting that is public meeting to present on how to navigate the new parcel viewer that the real property department has installed. Thanks to the GIS coordinator in planning who did the mapping work for that. We funded and filled a deputy position for real property, so more to come on that as we go through the process for seeing who applies. Public defender gave us an update, and also we approved the change in position as we heard about in the PSLA report. We also had a discussion on social media policy from our county attorney who was reviewing our current policy and understanding fully what the law requires and how that intersects with what we would like to have be on the website and social media. So that's a in-depth review that Attorney Howells is doing for us, and we'll be discussing that at our next meeting. County administrator came back and presented a discussion on mandates, which was really great. And Steve, is that information available on the website, or did we share the mandate, all those slides? It was a ton of information, but really, really good.
Yes, it's on the website in a couple of different places, and we distributed it to all the board members as well, the actual deck.
Okay.
And the author of that is sitting
Yeah,
right back
sitting right
there,
there.
so
Thank you.
that would be Day, who did a really great job for digging into that for someone who just started with us, so.
But it definitely puts everything in perspective on how much we're spending and how the money goes. So thank you for that. Then we had community services with staffing decisions that we approved, purchases, contracts, budget transfers. We did reapprove a temporary business office manager for that department, and also a contract with the medical director for the department. For IT, we approved some personnel requests and also approved the expenditure for a social media archiver. So we will be having that in place. I think it updates pretty regularly. So we'll have that archive should we ever need it. And that really was the administration. If anyone has any questions.
Can I
Any
add
question for the chair?
the 25th of March?
Oh, thank you.
That was my question.
March
25th.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't have, what's the 25th?
25th.
The auction,
Oh, yes.
this part 2 of the
Yeah.
auction.
Any other questions for the chair? On the mandate,
Yes.
report that they, one of the critical things in that was that all of the federal mandates and state mandates that we fulfill, we spend $56 million out of our budget a year, which is basically 1/3 of our budget. Out of that 56 million, 28 million of it is local funds. So we are mandated to provide $56 million worth of services. We get half the money we need to do that. So those are local dollars that are fulfilling those mandates. And that's all local tax that we could be using elsewhere, but we are fulfilling the mandates the state and the feds put down to us. So it's an interesting fact that you want to share. Day, I had every intention of sharing this last week and mentioning your name with that report at the Chamber of Commerce breakfast, and it got my address, everything got canceled. So I didn't mention it, but I'll mention it here. It was an excellent report. Thank you.
It was great.
I've been here 14 years, never had those numbers addressed like that. So it's nice that it is. Thank you. Special committee negotiations, Representative McCarty.
Yes, we're gonna have a meeting with correction officers on April 9th at 12:30 at the Meadows and Classroom A. Gonna hopefully wrap that up,
What time is that?
12:30.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Thank you. Performance review of goal setting, technology, and strategic planning. I understand Representative Blackway is gonna update us.
At least I was moved up just before I got here. Anyway, we met on Tuesday, the 24th of February at 9 AM here in the boardroom. First person to come on board and discuss their plans was Tammy Harrison of the Planning Department. She introduced an idea of creating a county comprehensive plan. Now, we have a strategic plan. A comprehensive plan is different. It's more of a roadway or a roadmap to the future for our county. There is money available on a grant, which will not cost us anything to get. Shenango County has one. I'm not sure whether I think Schoharie County also has one.
It does not.
It does not yet. Okay.
Couldn't do that before Otsego stole me to come here.
Okay. And But many towns and villages have comprehensive plans, and so we can tie all this together, and look for the future growth of this county. The planning department came in, the planning department will lead the comprehensive plan effort so that, free up some time for other people. And, there are funds available, as I said. After that, Alan Barnes, brought up on the screens the, strategic plan so that, some of our new people on the board could maybe be helped on getting onto the plan and see what is happening with that. We looked at some of the quarterly updates on the strategic plan, and many of the departments have not completed them at this point. So we're going to encourage them to get caught up so you can see what each department is doing in the county. And the strategic plan is also available online for anybody who wants to look at it. And our next meeting will be March 24th at 9 AM here in the boardroom.
Thank you, sir. Questions?
I was going to clarify the comp plan that we talked about. Tammy will be doing a special presentation next month here to really go through. So bring questions, thoughts. A lot of people see it sometimes as like more regulation, and it's really not. It's actually just a stakeholder plan for the vision of the community, as opposed to being like strategic within department. It's stakeholder and outside of the county resources all come together and create visions. It helps us for assessing, is this a grant better choice or just grant a better choice, right? It's a nice vision piece. And so just come with questions next meeting. Tammy presents.
I run into Danny Latham Saturday, and he told me he was going to be helping with the Department of State with this too. So one of our former colleagues. So thank you. Do we have any other board members would like to report on any board advisories committees that they're on outside the representative?
Yeah, thank you, Chair Frazier. I attended the Ag and Farmland Protection Board meeting, and the planning department, Tammy Harris and Kevin Musser helped prepare the list of properties. So it was the every 8-year review time. So there were a number of acres and parcels of properties moving out of the farm, the ag district, and a slightly higher number of acres moving in. So the net, I think, was 300 acres more coming into that ag district, but some was going out. So that was an interesting meeting, and always good to have the property coming into the ag district and encourage people to do that. And then I did actually attend just recently an Association of Governmental Risk Pools. That was a nationwide group. We're, as part of the NYMER board that I'm on, that we use NYMER for our insurance. So this was a great opportunity to, first of all, meet an obligation as a board member to go to their national event, but also to learn how to be a better and smarter board member for NYMER. So this was a very quick, I went for one day and then part of another morning and then came back last night. So it was very good. Well worth the effort and the drive home in the slush. So, but one of the keynotes was on how to have difficult and challenging discussions, which is really interesting. I think for so much of the work that we do, many of the and it threw me for a loop because he started talking about x-axis and y-axis. I was like, whoa, it's been a long time since algebra. But the y is the one that goes up. That was the goals, and then the x was the relationships, and then added in like an animal for each where you've landed on how important the relationship was and how important the outcome was. And it was very interesting with a turtle being the one where the relationship was not super important and neither was the goal. So you kind of just like ride it out with the turtle. And then the opposite one was where the goal was very, very important and the relationships are also very, very important. And that was where you would channel like being a dolphin, where you go off and you chatter and you talk and you meet all the time. So it was given by a career diplomat for the U.S. State Department, and it was a great opportunity to be able to be there and listen to some of these talks about governance and talks about relating to other people and negotiating things. So it was worth it. So just thought I would share that.
Thank you. Anyone else, Ms. Wilbur?
I just had a question on the 250th commission. I unfortunately missed that meeting Monday. Are you going to talk about that?
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I and Representative Kennedy attended a regional trails network meeting, which was facilitated by the Otsego County Conservation Association in the Meadows building. And it was really fascinating. I've been a member of lots of the different trails groups with a background in guiding and, outdoors. And it was kind of meant to be a place where we can try to create resolution, but it almost just exemplified how distraught and unconnected all the groups were, right? The butternut groups want this and this group wants this, and they're all like, I made a new trail and I also made a new trail and I also made a new trail. And so it was interesting. It really was indicative of me of disconnected and how maybe there is a role at the county level at some way, especially a planning role of actually like just getting people to settle down and make some connections. Because, well, even just a good example is the 607 trail that was released as part of Destination Oneonta. I kind of did a big on that. Like, it was released, but nothing's happened. No one's really using it. We don't have any, anything else connected to it. So it was interesting to me, and this, again, this is a personal thing for me because I use a lot of trails, but getting people onto the trails is more important sometimes than making more trails. And so we had a long discussion. I'm not sure you left like halfway through, but
to go
to the ag meeting,
Yeah.
but we didn't really get anywhere. But Levi was there representing the planning department. He had some really good input, and I do think there is a future, hopefully, role with the planning department on organizing trails and getting more people out onto them.
And the one thing, so this is where the comprehensive plan thing could work,
Yeah.
because one of the things that they specifically said were that paddle the 607, and yet there's a lot of landowners who have land abutting, like on the stream banks of the Susquehanna and other, but they could be doing rentals to paddlers to stay overnight and continue on down. But if they don't know about it, then they can't plan for that. So it was an interesting meeting.
Yeah, and also Otsego Outdoors, which is partially created through Otsego Now, which we're connected to. They had their octet. Have you heard of the octet challenge? It's these 8 different hikes. They're thinking about reducing it because not enough people are doing the full octet. So, we have this really great ability to get and sponsor out hikes and trails, but getting the people to be involved takes a little bit more planning.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Anyone else today like to report on anything? County Administrator report.
Good morning. We've spent so far this year about 15% of our budget, kind of right on track. In terms of the workforce, we have, since the year started, we've hired 50 people in the first 2 months, but 34 left. That's kind of on track with last year. I believe in 25, we hired 205 people, but 186 left. That's pretty typical, and vacancies are often connected with some hard to fill occupations, often in the jail, in social services. These are hard jobs, and so we struggle with that, notwithstanding all of the salary increases, things we've done to be competitive across. So anyway, just a status update of that. Also, we have spent $25,000 roughly out of our contingent account through the end of February. That leaves us about 1.7 million. Dan mentioned about the America 250 commission. We established that over the summer. And we had a few meetings up through, I think, October, and then it fell by the wayside because there were some key people who had some health problems and sort of the leadership didn't accomplish very much over the interim. By the way, one of those sick people was me, who didn't do all the leadership thing that I think was needed. So we reconstituted the group again on Monday night. We expect to have several meetings this month. We also established a new chair, not me, which would be former board member Michelle Caton. And we're going to be moving forward. We are seeking to reach out to historians and museum folks just to get a sense of what it is they may be planning for 2026 and how we might be able to help. We may be able to provide financial support. The county got a grant. It was only $15,000. So we're talking about small grants, but the model I think we're going to follow will be the community events grants, which we give every year. There's still some administrative stuff to iron out with the New York State Department of Education, which is funding this, but we're working on that. So that's the update. One other thing, the board took a look at a logo, basically, that Dan had developed, and they really like it, Dan. So don't act surprised. They liked it. And so we're going to try to figure some way to maybe have that kind of be a kind of a logo or a branding item for AM250 Commission kind of events. One other thing, if you get a chance, take a look in my office and you will see on the wall an American flag with 250 in the middle and stars. This is a flag that our friends at NISAC made available to a number of us. We are trying to find a way to source those flags for as little money as possible, of course, to see if we can distribute those to all towns, villages, and the city for their M250 events this year. So we got a whole bunch of things we're trying to do to catch up on. One other thing that's not strictly related to M250. Many of you, or some of you may know that we lost our county historian. She was that's not as bad as it sounds. She just can't devote time to the job. And so we are looking for someone to accept a volunteer position as Otsego County historian. And if you know of anybody, have them reach out to me, just a little email. We'll arrange something so we can talk to people at the appropriate committee and select. So that'll be a good thing. Yes, sir.
What is the role? If I were to pitch this to somebody, what am I going to tell them? How much time are they spending being the county historian?
Now, I would say typically about 80 hours a week. So we didn't have a county historian until I think last year or the year before. And this young lady, Deb McKenzie, who had been like a town historian and is just likes this kind of stuff, right? She came to the board and said, I want to be the county historian. And after some discussion, we said, yeah, what does she do? Coordinate with the town historians, start events, that kind of thing. It can be, how can I put this? The position is what you make it. So there's that. Dan.
You know, it's a shame because she did a really wonderful job.
Yes.
And the more I think of it, I know money is tight, but we ought to think about some of this stuff because it's an important role and it also could tie right into our tourism. This area is
Yes.
so rich with history, both national and state, local, that man, I think if we gave a list of places for people to go, it'd really tie into the people that are already here.
Absolutely. Two pieces. One, DMC, Destination Marketing, is represented on the M250 commission. So we're quite cognizant of that. They will post stuff, events. Surprisingly, there aren't that many events right now. So we're trying to kind of flush all that stuff out so we can get something out there and start promoting it.
Oh, Steve, we had talked about having our personnel office write out a job description for the county historian.
Yes.
So that may be coming, so.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to second what Dan said. I do think that these can be really important. They may seem like, you know, the job is whatever, but it can be a really important part of a lot of the things we've talked about in terms of even like people knowing about the trails, people knowing the history of the different areas. And I think sometimes even a small stipend for performing these kinds of roles can encourage people who have the skill set. And certainly we could be looking at the colleges, the museum, like there are people who have skill sets who might be willing to do some of this stuff, but maybe can't afford to do it for free.
The unfortunate thing is we lost her to one of our own departments.
There you
go. There are a number of people who have expressed interest in doing this at the volunteer thing. Forgive me for slipping into my budget officer mindset. So I'll just sort of mention that, but yeah, absolutely. Small stipend, it's not gonna think us.
I'd like to say two things. The flag that he's speaking of, there's actually one outside the treasurer's office hanging up too, if you want to see that. And second is the window for the funding of these, this 15,000 is gonna be very, very short. All right, in order to get the money out there, the window's gonna be very short, the application. If you know of things going on in your districts, pick up the phone, notify either Michelle, Steve, make sure that those people in your districts are aware of the funding, because that window is gonna be very short. Am I wrong?
What is the
Very
window?
short.
No, it's gonna be very short. So the details for getting the money out, including whether or not the event sponsor has to put money up front and then we reimburse them. Right, and that could be a problem for some of this stuff. We're trying to get that information from the state. So what I would do is, I was gonna say, hint that money might be available and ask them to reach out to us. We will, for those of you who aren't familiar with the county event grant program, we will put an online application up. We'll ask some key questions, set a deadline, and it's probably gonna be maybe 2 weeks folks are gonna have to fill out this simple application.
So this probably isn't gonna be finalized till April. in order to
Right.
distribute any kind of money for the time that people are gonna be doing the events, we have to award this probably by May. So I'm saying that that window is gonna be very short in
It
this
should
budget.
be over before we get.
That's why we're late to the
Yeah.
game right here. So that window for applications is gonna be very short.
So is
So
there,
if you know of people, contact.
right, so who's the us to like, if we know of people, who are the us to contact? Is it Steve? Is it?
Me or Michelle Kate.
Okay.
And don't make the mistake I did. Don't use Michelle's old county email.
Yeah. And we're gonna be broadcasting this, but the sooner you know about it, they know about it, the better for everybody. So I'm sorry, Steve, go ahead.
I think that, oh, just one other thing. What was it? Yesterday, we had a department head meeting. It was a little bit different from the way we've done this. As I understand it, department heads to meet on their own, discuss a variety of, I guess you would say, operational issues common to them all, and interact, I guess, with the board or other board chair people would come to the meetings from time to time. And when the county established the county administrator position, both the guy for me and me, those meetings kind of evolved into a top-down information channel. And so that has its charms, but it's really made it difficult for departments to kind of grapple with some of the issues you have. So we've started doing things where the an individual department takes the lead and does a host. On Tuesday, the Office of Aging, Tammy Reed, a stalwart on this kind of stuff, hosted the meeting. We had a good in-person meeting. Ed actually came by for most of it. Next month, the department heads will be meeting in the highway department, and Rich Bremer will be hosting that, and on and on. I usually participate in those, but they don't let me speak until the end when I talk about budgeting and the press. But otherwise, there is a good exchange, and I think this will develop into a good thing. So, that was an important change in the way we've done this in the past. And then just one other thing, department heads and our budget analysts are looking at their strategic plan priority outcomes to see if they want to change those in advance of the budget process. As Ed suggested, we are working on developing a way for departments to easily assign costs to their major priorities. This will be important because at some point in the budget process, the board is going to have to make priorities, and that's always a difficult thing. So we hope to make that a little easier. We'll be working on that over the next several months. And I think that is everything I've got.
The department head yesterday had lots of input, discussion regarding the social media policy and the central business office and how improvements may be needed and suggestions on how to improve those. I thought it was very good. So,
Yes.
all right. Anyone else this morning? We need a motion to dispense with the reading of all reports and resolutions.
So moved, over.
Second, Clapperton. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Is there any representative wishing to remove a resolution from the consent agenda? Hearing none.
What's the one? That's too much.
Call for action on the consent agenda.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Second, Hinchey. Roll call vote.
Frazier,
Aye.
Powers,
Aye.
Brockway,
Aye.
Mitchie,
Yes.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Mickle, Burley,
Aye.
Marietta absent, McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Mendez absent, Martini absent, Clapperton,
Aye.
Basile absent.
Consent agenda, 139 to 164, 76 ayes, no noes, 24 absent. Consent agenda. If there are no objections, late resolution A will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules of order.
We gonna get those?
Oh, yep. Yes.
Details. You're always about details, aren't you?
Well, you know, I kind of looking at what I'm saying, I to you know.
Thank you, sir.
Didn't want the paper to go to waste. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
If there are no objections, late resolution A will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules of order.
This one's key.
Late resolution A will be 165, authorizing the planning department to purchase 2 buses from Gilead, Marietta, Mickle, Kennedy, Mendez, Clapperton.
So move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Frazier,
Aye.
Powers,
Aye.
Brockway,
Aye.
Finchie,
Yes.
Kennedy, Mickle, Burley, Marietta absent, McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Mendez absent, Martini absent, Clapperton,
Yes.
Basile absent.
Resolution 165, 76 ayes, no noes, 24 absent, no abstentions. Five passed.
Yes, with the mess that we had this morning because we had to pull the 3 for HSC that didn't have a quorum.
Okay,
So, and you part of saving paper again.
so B, C, and D actually are from the.
From the floors.
Okay, that's all right. Everybody understand that, why we're going from A to E? Because the 3 resolutions that were gonna be late from the floor this morning were originally B, C, and D. But we're going on to late resolution E. If there are no objections, late resolution E will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules of order.
That'll now be resolution 166, amending resolution 87, 2026-0204, authorizing the county administrator or the chair of the board to contract with Quick Med Claims LLC for ambulance billing services. Wilbur, Mickle, Powers, Burley, Basile.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Frazier,
Aye.
Powers,
Aye.
Brockway,
Aye.
Finchie,
Yes.
Kennedy, Mickle, Burley, Marietta absent, McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Mendez absent, Martini absent, Clapperton,
Aye.
Basile absent.
Resolution 166, we have 76 ayes, no noes, 24 absent, no abstentions, 166. If there are no objections, late resolution F will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules of order.
This will now be 167, transferring and modifying funds in various departments for 2026. Kennedy, McCarty, Wilbur, Martini, Marietta, Powers.
We have a motion.
You need to second these, Jennifer.
Did someone say?
Nickel.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. Thank you. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Fraser.
Aye.
Powers. Brockway.
Aye.
Hinchey.
Yes.
Kennedy. Aye. Nickel.
Aye.
Barliant.
Aye.
Marietta absent. McCarty.
Aye.
Wilbur.
Aye.
Mendez absent. Martini absent. Clapperton.
Aye.
Basile absent.
Resolution 167, 76 ayes, no noes, 24 absent, no abstention, 167. If there are no objections, late resolution G will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules of order.
This will now be resolution 168, authorizing the purchase of 2 ambulances. Wilbur, Mickle, Powers, Barliant, Basile. Second.
We have a second discussion.
Yeah, I have a question. Didn't we approve buying 2 ambulances last month?
Yeah, I'm kind of lost why this is a late resolution.
And
This is inadvertently left off. Last month, it should have been on, but it was not included in last month intentionally because we were waiting for some documentation.
Gotcha.
Then this month, it should have been put on, but my office left it off inadvertently, and so it needs
That's
to be
fine.
brought up.
That's
Yeah.
fine. But this went through
This
PSLA.
did go through PSLA and
Okay.
it went through admin, and it was ready to go on last month, but we were just missing some other information
Right.
that we needed.
I thought maybe I was losing.
So the point is, we aren't buying 4. We aren't buying 4, we're buying 2.
yeah, well, we saved $13,000 because I think the last time was $340, wasn't it? For 2 ambulances.
Something like that.
Oh, well, that's the real reason.
Yeah,
Right. That's it right there.
Make sure the paper flips that out.
lunches on Dan.
Any further discussion today? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Fraser.
Aye.
Powers.
Aye.
Brockway.
Aye.
Hinchey.
Yes.
Kennedy. Aye. Mickle.
Aye.
Barliant.
Aye.
Marietta absent. McCarty.
Yes, once again.
Wilbur.
Yes.
Mendez absent. Martini absent. Clapperton.
Yes.
Basile absent.
Resolution 168, 76 ayes, no noes, 24 absent, no abstentions. 168 is adopted. If there are no objections, late resolution H will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules of order.
This resolution will now be 169, authorizing Otsego County 911 and EMS Department to purchase Zoll heart monitors and auto pulse CPR devices from Zoll Medical Corporation. Wilbur, Mickle, Powers, Barliant, Basile.
This is the same thing as last month too?
They're tied together.
That's correct. This was also the 2 purchases from Zoll should have been on last month, but those were waiting for information, so they weren't put on the agenda, the consent agenda last month, and they should have been put on this month, but my office, this was a package that we left off.
No sense buying equipment if you don't have the ambulances.
I do second that.
Thank you. Discussion.
Well, since there's 3 heart monitors. Are we replacing one in another ambulance or something?
Or putting one where there's none.
Oh, that could be absent. Yeah. But
I can find out.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Frazier,
Aye.
Powers,
Aye.
Brockway,
Aye.
Kinchy,
Yes.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Mickle,
Aye.
Marliant,
Aye.
Marietta absent, McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Mendez absent, Martini absent, Clapperton,
Aye.
Basile absent.
Motion 169, 76 ayes, no nos, 24 absent, 0 abstentions, 169 adopted.
Yes, these are from the floor, so
Yeah.
each board member has to bring it up at the end. That's fine, so I think first. And
Dan Smith.
doesn't hear about, he probably doesn't. It's
You brought up one earlier today,
Yes,
a late resolution from the floor.
yes, sir.
If we did it separately.
You want me to read that
It
again?
was before the polling.
Would you like me to bring that up again?
Please.
Kathy, could you see me over? I hit my own little lights. Yes. I had it. Well, what did? Because I want to see it yet. When you're ready. Here.
Sure.
This would be late resolution B. Resolution of appreciation for Brian S. McCorney, Wilbur. Whereas Brian S. McCorney has worked for the county of Otsego for more than 30 years in the area of information technologies, and whereas Brian S. McCorney has served Otsego County as the Director of Information Technology since January of 2000, and whereas Brian S. McCorney has with diligence and skill created the technological infrastructure which has supported the functions of the County of Otsego and enabled the county to fulfill its mission to the residents of this county. And whereas Brian S. McCorney has been unfaltering in his support of emergency services and public safety in both anticipated and unanticipated incidents in his role as Director of Information Technologies over the years. And whereas the Otsego County Board of Representatives and other county employees will remember Brian S. McCorney for his devoted service to emergency services and public safety and Otsego County as a whole. Therefore, be it resolved that the county or Otsego County Board of Representatives does hereby commend Brian S. McCorney for his dedication to serving Otsego County and its residents and wishes him well in retirement.
Second.
I'd probably second that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll third it.
If there are no objections, this late resolution from the floor will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules of order.
Now you can second it.
No, wait a second.
Oh.
So this resolution will now be 170, resolution of appreciation for Brian S. McCorney, Wilbur.
Now we need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion today?
I think it's well deserved. He served the county very well. Kept us safe from malware and threats that are out there. And I think it's well deserved.
Agreed.
I agree.
Thank you. Roll call vote.
Sorry.
We could do it oral vote. Oral vote. All those in favor, resolution 170, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 170 is adopted. Thank you. Yeah. Couple more from. Share them.
Board Chair Frazier, I would like to bring a resolution to the board.
Okay. You want to share those?
Yes. These are because of the, oh, I knew that. With not having enough people. Maybe, I think that's right. Thank you.
You want more?
Go ahead. Thank you. That's easier. You're up and going.
Right. I don't know, he's gone. First one.
Which one you address it first, sir?
Yeah. Everybody's got that.
This is on the psychologist. Part 1 and 2.
Part-time number 1 and number 2.
Psychologist, part-time 1 and 2, yes.
If there are no objections, the slate resolution from the floor will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules of order.
This will now be resolution 171, creating funding and filling certain positions in the Department of Health, psychologist, part-time 1 and 2. Brockway.
Second.
Is there any discussion this morning? Roll call vote.
Frazier.
Aye.
Powers.
Aye.
Brockway.
Aye.
Hinchey.
Yes.
Kennedy. Aye. Mickle.
Aye.
Burlington.
Aye.
Marietta, absent. McCarty.
Aye.
Wilbur.
Aye.
Mendez, absent. Martini, absent. Clapperton.
Aye.
Basile, absent.
Resolution 171, 76 ayes, no noes, 24 absent, no abstentions, 171 is adopted.
Chairman Fraser, I'd like to bring in a second resolution from the floor.
Yes, sir. Which one is this, sir?
This is unfunding certain expenditure in the Department of Health contract school psychologist number 1.
Second.
If there are no objections, this late resolution from the floor will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules.
This resolution will be 172, unfunding a certain expenditure in the Department of Health contracted school psychologist number 1, Brockway.
Second.
Any discussion this morning? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Frazier.
Aye.
Powers.
Aye.
Brockway.
Aye.
Hinchey.
Yeah.
Kennedy.
Aye.
Mickle.
Aye.
Burlington.
Aye.
Marietta, absent. McCarty.
Aye.
Wilbur.
Aye.
Mendez, absent. Martini, absent. Clapperton.
Aye.
Basile. Absent.
If you don't mind.
Resolution 172, 76 ayes, no noes, 24 absent, no abstentions. 172 is adopted.
Chairman Fraser, if I have a third resolution, I would like to present from you. No. I got stuck with a lot of stuff today. This was.
Oh, I keep forgetting to give you the rest.
Yeah. Thank you.
This resolution, are you ready for that? It's interesting. Amending resolution 388-2025-1203, authorizing the chair of the board or the county administrator to extend the contract with Trinity Services Group, Inc. for the operation of the senior nutrition program. Broadway.
If there are no objections, this late resolution from the floor will be presented and acted upon in accordance with the rules of order.
Second.
This will now be 173, amending resolution 388, 2025, 1203, authorizing the chair of the board or the county administrator to extend the contract with Trinity Services Group Incorporated for the operation of the senior nutrition program Broadway.
Second.
Second. Any discussion this morning? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Frazier,
Aye.
Powers, Brockway,
Aye.
Minchie,
Yes.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Mickle,
Aye.
Burley,
Aye.
Marietta absent, McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Mendez absent, Martini absent, Clapperton,
Aye.
Basile absent.
Resolution 173, 76 ayes, no nos, 24 absent, no abstentions, 173 for that. Is there any unfinished business this morning?
Chair.
Sir.
No actual business. I'd just like to share with the board that sitting in the back is Aubrey Vale. She is a Hartwick senior joining us as an internship before she heads off to graduate school. She is interested in major disasters and dealing with this. And so she will be with us to learn how county government actually works. Because at some point, she's gonna have to figure all that stuff out when a disaster happens. So we aim to make her the greatest grad student and her grad school with all this practical knowledge. Welcome aboard.
Welcome, Aubrey. Thank you. Motion to adjourn. Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Or adjourned? Thank you.